Yes, I hope you got a good night's sleep that night.
Do you know, yeah, I've learnt a lot through that chat,
That's
actually.
good.
So,
I hope everyone has then. I mean, this is Wednesday, so that's what, 2 nights sleep you should have had
yeah.
quite well. And tonight again, you can, well, today, that's what we're going to discuss. We're going to discuss some handy hints to help you nod off. So hopefully every night we're going to have great sleeps.
On Monday, we were talking about some of the things that cause sleepless nights.
Yeah.
And interesting enough, you know, we're talking hormones, we're talking what's going on within the body,
Yeah.
activating this kind of alertness that you
It is
just
fascinating,
think,
isn't it? That's what I
really
always say.
interesting.
Our bodies are so fascinating. And, you know, it's not just that you're lying there wide awake for no reason. Your body is reacting to that. So on Monday's show, you know, we discussed exactly what happens in your body on a sleepless night. The reason I told you that was, if you know what happens, you then can, of course, try and prevent these things from happening.
Yeah.
So today it's going to be about that. It's going to be helping yourself to get a better night's sleep. First of all, though, let's just discuss, you know, what is, you know, how much is enough? Like, for you, how much sleep do you normally get?
I try and get 6 hours,
Ooh.
and I try, like, that's kind of the minimal.
Yeah, because you're doing the breakfast show, I would think.
Yes,
if you weren't doing that, though,
then
what
I'd
would
probably
be?
have an extra 3 or 4 hours in
Yeah,
bed
oh,
on
I
top of
know.
that. So
I
I'd probably
know.
be looking more at like 8 or 9 hours sleep a night
I'm-
on
yeah.
a weekday.
Everyone actually differs. I mean, the average, you know, you really should get 8 hours. That is your, you know, and that's full, not, you know, 2 hours here, 4 hours there. It should be 8 hours. But the average is like 6 to 8. Me, I like a lot of sleep. I like 9 hours. Mariah Carey apparently likes 15 hours.
15 hours?
Apparently, I've researched this, and she claims that she needs that to sing the way she does. So, if you're lucky to have 15 hours free in a day to do that, most of us, though, definitely probably go around between the 6 to 8. Actually, in Britain, a lot of people, I think it's a quarter of Brits, they're only getting 4 hours of uninterrupted sleep.
Whoa.
So, you know, you're not falling into that deep REM of sleep then. So that's why it's not even so much how many hours, but it's the quality. So, you know, quality over quantity. But it is quite normal to have that night of tossing and turning and these things. And, you know, the main reason that most of us are lying wide awake at night is we're thinking about something that maybe it's a problem. You know, maybe it's anxiety of some kind, like work. The next day you're thinking about, I've got a meeting, I've got deadlines, oh gosh, I've got to fit all this in. Or you've got family issues, like how I'm going to get the kids to school, or the car needs to be fixed. So it's getting to the root of the problem first before you even get into bed. And then you're going to try and set yourself up for a good night's sleep. So, you know, if you are lying there wide awake, Laura, give me an example. You're wide awake and you're thinking of something.
Oh, I'm thinking about time and...
Yeah, you've got to get up or something. Like, I've got to get up in 6 hours.
Yeah.
So you have to accept, whilst you're lying there, you know, if you fall into this trap, first of all, accept that you're not going to fix this problem right now. Like, you know, you have to get up in 6 hours. Well, yeah, you have to. So fretting about it isn't going to make it any easier to fall asleep. Or if you're worrying about, you know, money or something, okay, lying wide awake is not going to solve that right now at this hour. So take it out of your mind. Write it down in a bit of paper beside your bed. If it's so important to you at 1 o'clock in the morning, you will find time the next day to try and resolve this issue. If it's something you said to someone, it's gone, accept it and think, okay, tomorrow I will maybe apologise to this person. You know, there's that old phrase, I'll sleep on it.
Yeah.
And that comes from people, when you're wide awake at night, some things seem different than they do in the daytime.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but they just do. So I always think I'm not going to make a decision in my bed.
Yeah.
I'm going to wait until tomorrow, see how I feel, and then, you know, tackle it and take it from there. So certainly if you are lying wide awake worrying, get it out of your mind. You can't solve it at that time of night. So that's the first thing to do. You know, people who are having problems sleeping, we have the odd night here and there we can't sleep. If it starts to become a regular habit, then you need to probably see a doctor about that. But if it's just the occasional night, I don't even recommend sleeping aids because they can become reliant. You know, I've never been one to try these things, but some people do, you know.
And if it is quite a one-off thing, then yeah, you know what, tomorrow you'll actually probably sleep like a log.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
it'll come round and you'll kind of end up getting it back eventually.
Well, that's the thing. And I mean, I know some people on aeroplanes, they want to sleep, so they'll take sleeping pills. I'm a bit scared to do that because I don't know how I'm going to feel, and
I'll probably
What
end
if
up in
it's an
transit
emergency?
to another. Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
like, but what if you need to like move quick and obviously it's going to slow you down. So, I'm not really one for things like that. You know me, I'm very natural. Everything's got to be sort of organic. But I don't know. I think that, in order to be able to fall asleep, basically, you need to have a quiet mind. So too many thoughts are going to stop you from sleeping, as we've discussed. So you've got to set yourself up to a good routine. Okay, so before bedtime, that means something like not doing work emails 10 minutes before you get into bed, because your mind's full of that. Same as watching the news. We discussed this the other day. If you're watching the news and you go to bed, maybe you're not that worried about things in the world, but it just gets you thinking on a different train of thought maybe. So any sort of noisy chatter in your mind is going to take you, we call it monkey mind. Actually, in yoga, we call it monkey mind, where you're just jumping about, thinking different things. And of course, that then leads to thinking about other things, and it just continues from there. So definitely, try to give yourself a routine. It's all in the preparation. So a good routine would be, every day, try and wake at the same time. So your body will actually adjust to this naturally. Do you ever find you sometimes wake, maybe not at the moment because you're doing a breakfast show, but do you ever find that you sometimes wake before your alarm clock?
Oh, yeah, quite often.
Yeah.
And even more so for doing a morning show, actually, because you're worried about not waking up, sleeping in.
Yeah.
So therefore,
you got
you
a
wake
flight
up
or
and
something.
it's like, it's that kind of instant panic, but like, what time is it?
Yeah.
And it is surprising how often that happens.
Yeah, that probably comes from, your inner subconscious, that you have a flight to catch, you have to be at work at a certain time, especially if it's quite early. But if you, on the weekend, for example, I do this, I wake every day about 6:30, the alarm will go off. I wake every day about 6:25. Why? 5 minutes before this alarm, I will kind of come around, and it's because my body is used to getting up at the same time every day, so it prepares itself. Actually, an hour before you wake, naturally, your body started the preparation for you waking up. And that's why if you are woken suddenly in the middle of the night, or for any reason, like from a nightmare or something, you feel kind of dreadful because you weren't ready for it. You were just thrown into this wake up, like when we've had maybe a really bad night's sleep and you're just getting into a good sleep and then the alarm goes, you feel terrible, you feel groggy. So to get that nice routine, something really you must start with is to try and wake every day at the same time. Difficult on the weekend. I know we like a long lie. Something that's also quite important is your bedroom. Make that your sleep sanctuary. Make it comfortable how you like it. You like it warm, a little bit cool. Remember, when you sleep, your body temperature drops. So you don't want it too cold, or else you're going to wake up really cold and then have to get up.
That's a horrible feeling as well, because it's like, I need a blanket. Like, what's going on?
Where
am I?
I remember being back home last Christmas. Where am I? I remember being home last Christmas. Scotland in winter is freezing.
Bitter, yeah.
Really cold. My parents' house, really cold. And I have done this even growing up as a child. I have just lay there like a block of ice, and I haven't moved because I'm too cold to move.
Yeah.
I'm too cold to even put the hand out of the blanket.
Yeah.
Even like, you're just lying there, you need the bathroom, you're like, no.
It's just not worth it.
It's just not, it's not worth
it's not,
it.
you level it out. It's the same thing in England. You level it out and you go, it's just not worth it.
Exactly.
Ooh.
It's not. I'll just spend the rest of the night lying here awake.
Yeah.
Yeah. That makes a lot more sense.
So true though. So true.
I know. But yeah, so if you make your bedroom your sort of sanctuary there for you to get some good sleep, and it really should be heavily associated with sleep and not television. So I don't have a TV in my room. I said this the other day. My bedroom is just a place I sleep, so it's such a nice feeling to go there and be like, I can relax now and I can sleep, and I do get good sleeps here. So another thing is, it's dark. I like it dark. It's going to help you get there. It helps with those hormones that we spoke about the other day. Any sort of light, your brain starts thinking it's daytime, and it'll release hormones to waken you up. So just be careful of that. So you should also go to bed when you're tired. I mean, we've all got a time to go to bed, but if you really are awake, then there's no point, because you're not really going to get yourself to sleep. You need to listen to your body and try to fall asleep. Go to bed when you feel tired. But if you are lying there and it's been 30 minutes, it is a good idea to get up and actually do something really boring, like ironing, folding clothes, something that's really monotonous and you don't have to think about, and you'll be like, okay, this is boring, I'm going back to bed, and just start again.
Yeah.
Start that process again of trying to get to sleep. So, you know, you have to really get yourself into this prep, you know, this prep before going to bed. Something else to think about, you know, we spoke about this on Monday, is the whole electronic issue with devices and things. I do have a bit of a rule, like 1 hour before bed, I try not to look at my phone or look at emails. TV, yeah, okay, I do, but the phone with the emails, that's what gets the mind ticking.
Yeah.
With subjects of different natures, you know. Yeah. So you don't want it to be having that in your mind. Also, we're going to speak about this on Monday's show. Monday will be the final part of the sleep series that I've been doing, and we'll discuss the effects of a sleepless night on our weight. And, you know, if you are looking to watch your weight, it's related to fat storage, so it's really an interesting piece to listen to. Tune in for that. Also, diet and exercise is very important when it comes to sleeping. We're going to talk about that on Monday. But tonight, just, you know, be mindful of what you eat in the evening. Eating too close to bedtime, we all know, cheese, you'll get nightmares. So, you know, it does affect your sleep if you eat too close to bed, especially certain types of food. Actually, if you eat too much at night, your mind will be alert and your body will just be really sluggish and have to digest all this food during the night. So I always try to eat no later than like 2 hours before bed, just to try and get your body to be sort of empty. And you can try and drink something like a chamomile tea or a peppermint tea, or...
See, my mum swears by this stuff called valerian tea. It's all natural, it's herb. You just pop it in like a herbal tea, like you would do chamomile, and it makes you sleepy, and it really is very, very effective.
I've never heard of that one.
You can put 10 of these tea bags into 1 cup, and it's the same. It have the same kind of whack as a Valium pill.
Ooh,
so
strong.
It can be very strong.
So if you're really having trouble to sleep, you can take one of these. You can knock
yourself
you know.
out. I mean, they stink. I'm not going to lie. They have to be put in a container, in an airtight container in the cupboard, because they smell a bit like feet. But when they're in water, the smell disappears and they taste okay. They don't taste fantastic.
But she feels that it helps her.
Oh, absolutely. She swears by it. She has probably 2, and she'll use the same tea bag and just top it up again with another. You know, she drinks it every evening, and I've had it and it works as well.
Wow. And your mum also likes to read, doesn't she? You told me this before.
Yeah, big reader before bed. That really helps just to tie your eyes up. Takes your brain away from these thoughts, perhaps.
Absolutely.
That's what I'll do if I can't sleep. I turn on the light. I get the book. I'll go read until my eyes...
I think it's a really nice time to say to yourself, I mean, if you've got the luxury of doing this, you know, if you don't have children or anything to distract you, but if you can say, right, I'm going to bed at 10, so at 9, I'm going upstairs, I'm going to read, I'm going to prepare myself for this sleep ahead, it should work. I actually quite enjoy that. I enjoy the prep of it all. And, you know, activity helps us as well. It has been proven more active people sleep more than those who don't exercise as much. So we're going to get to that on Monday. In the meantime, get out there, move your body, tire it out, tire your mind with books, and drink this special tea that Laura's mentioning, and you'll be fine.
I'm gonna get you some so you can try it. I'll
have to get a nose peg for the smell.
Yeah, I know, honestly. Well, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
and we'll catch you again on Monday.
Yes, enjoy your weekend.